Hello. So today's video is going to be about fixing the touchscreen digitizer in this Nintendo DS. Now let's just say I own a few DS's, and some of them are in need of fixing. And for those who don't know, the touchscreen digitizer is this part of the touchscreen that processes the touch when you press it with your finger or a stylus, and then but that bit isn't working. So I'm going to replace it. So first thing I do, I get my screwdriver and take out the battery, as usual with DS repair, and in fact most handheld console repairs. But now you get a pry tool or something. You could use your fingernail, but having a pry tool is just easier. But yeah, now we have, oh, and by the way, this is the screw on this battery door is a Phillips number 00 screw, but right here we have 7 Y number 00 screws, tri-wings, and I'm just gonna unscrew them. But yeah, I'm probably not going to record this bit because it's going to be boring, and it's literally just going to be a video of me taking screws and unscrewing them. So yeah, I'm going to stop recording, and I'll resume recording when it's time for me to resume recording again. Alright, yeah, the screws have been removed. You can see this little pile of screws right here. I'm just gonna put them over here, out of the way. Oh yeah, and also it might be a good idea to remove the stylus before you, completely remove the back bit, which I'm right about to do. Also, don't forget to remove any game cards or stuff like that, because that will damage the cartridge slot. But yeah, now we can just lift up, and ooh, it's quite crusty on the inside. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as one of the other ones that I repaired, that pink one with stickers all over it was probably slightly dustier. But yeah, now what we do is we essentially take out these ribbon cables right here. So that one and that one. So what you do is you basically, there's this flap that you lift up on, and then so basically you can get a pry tool or your fingernail underneath it, and then just lift up, and then you can safely pull the ribbon cable out. Now we can do it with this one. I'm gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna use the guitar pick for this one, so my finger isn't obstructing it. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, but now we just remove that one, which can be a bit difficult to remove, and it's been my experience that you kind of have to lift up the motherboard a little to get it to wiggle out. So yeah, but there's still screws holding in the motherboard, so when I remove those screws, I will remove that ribbon cable. But as you can see, there are 2 smaller ribbon cables under here. Now, they use a different kind of connector. There are little tabs on either side of them that you have to push out, and then you can wiggle the ribbon cable out. Obviously you can't see it on camera, but if you're doing this in real life, you'll probably see it. And also if you're using a guide, an iFixit guide or something, they'll have some nice close-ups. But yeah, I'm going to use my pair of tweezers just to get them to just pop out slightly. There we go. Now you can wiggle the ribbon cable out. That's that one. Now it's time for the next one. Alright, now we can, obviously you gotta change your screwdriver bit back to the Phillips number 001. But there are 4 screws that you need to remove. There's this screw right here, there's this screw right here, there's this screw right here, and then there's a screw up here. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and remove those. It won't take too long, so I'm just going to do it on camera. That's one down. Maybe I should zoom in a bit so you can see the screw action. Alright, put that screw there. Now we gotta do this one. Oh, and be careful, be really careful not to slip with your screwdriver, because this bit also happens to be the motherboard. I mean, yeah, of course it's the motherboard, but, yeah, the motherboard is where everything's happening. Like, you see all those little electronic components there? You don't want to mess with those. But yeah, now, it's time to remove this Wi-Fi antenna thing. So, I'm going to center it and then zoom in. There we go. But yeah, what you want to do is you just want to grasp it with like a pair of tweezers or something, and then like wiggle it side to side. You may have to apply a little bit of force. But yeah, wiggle it side to side, and then it just pops right out. Now, we can safely remove the motherboard. Now I'm gonna just remove that cable. There we go. The motherboard is out. So this is the motherboard. Forgot to zoom out, but this is the motherboard, and we're just gonna set that aside. And this is an anti-static mat, so it's not, nothing's gonna like happen to it. There's no static electricity built up on it, so it's safe to do that. But now we got this foam situation going here. But yeah, you see that ribbon cable right there? You need to remove the screen in order to access the digitizer, which means you have to peel up the foam slightly to get access to the ribbon cable to get access to the screen so you can remove it. But yeah, you just can just like peel it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be too much, just enough. And then there's some adhesive on this ribbon cable that you'd want to just like be careful. Oh, the screen's already starting to pop out. But yeah, the ribbon cable has been peeled off. Now the screen is popping out. Alright, this right here is the screen. And this, the thing on top of it, is the digitizer. But I have my own digitizer from one of the other DS's. It looks to be in relatively decent shape. I mean, except for that scratch right there, but it's perfectly acceptable. So now you can see that the digitizer is pretty much stuck onto the screen, so you gotta like pry it up a little bit. So you might want to take like a pry tool and then just like go like that. But obviously be quite careful, because if you're like, yeah, you don't want to damage the screen or anything. But yeah, I can feel the digitizer starting to come loose, and that's a good thing, because, alright, there we go. It's not quite ready to come off yet, so do it a bit more. Alright. Now I'm just gonna put that aside. But yeah, here we have the bottom screen. Now it's time for the digitizer to go on. Now, you want this to be like nice and centered. So just maybe take some time to like figure out how it's going to go on, and just make sure it goes on properly like that. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. Now we just lightly like do that, And now we can put the screen back in. Let's have a look at, let's see what it looks like from the front. Hold up. I need this rubber pad to cover the buttons, otherwise they're going to just fall out when I turn it over. But also I'm going to remove this trigger so it doesn't, like the spring and everything in it doesn't fall out onto the floor. But here it is, and it looks quite nice. It looks good. I mean, except for that scratch right there, but oh well, what am I going to do about it? I mean, but yeah. Now, we just have to peel the adhesive and then stick the ribbon cable back on. And then we put the foam back. There we go. Now, we're ready to put the motherboard back in. Alright. Oh, and this bit probably, I need to re-peel that, because that bit probably goes like that. You know what, forget it. But, yeah, now we can feed the ribbon cables back through the holes on the motherboard. See that right there? That one's in. And yeah, now we put the screws back in, and for the sake of time I'm not gonna record myself putting a bunch of screws back in. I've finished putting it back together. Now let's see if it works. Turned on. That's a good start. Oh, what's that? Oh, just some sort of... And does the touchscreen work? Yes, it does. The touchscreen does work. Hooray! Now that's what I call a successful repair. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.